Alright, not sure if we are live or not, but pretty sure I am. Let's go take a look at... looks like I am live. Hello, Zoinkers. Let me know if you are able to hear me, because this is my first stream and I'm still playing around with the audio and visual settings. Mary Berry, welcome to the stream. Alright, let me know how the quality is. I know there's nothing crazy going on, so I should go into the mission to really test that, but hopefully the quality of the game is not absolutely unbearable. I have my bit rate at 6,000 right now to start off with. I'm just going to go into a mission here. Good quality, that's good. Hopefully the quality isn't too high, because then it might, you know, lag on your guys' end. That's the balancing act you have to do when it comes to live streams is... Thank you. Yes, this frame skin is the heirloom skin from last year. Unfortunately, you're not able to get this skin anymore. So I'm very glad that I got it. Zoinkers, I think I've seen a lot of your comments on my videos. It's good to see you.
These are worthy foes. Underestimate them.
Oh, look at me, going down right away. That's what I get for not putting on Overguard first.
Watch out. I'm detecting void fissures nearby. Do you have a matching relic?
My game is way too loud. Yeah, it is a very nice frost skin. By far my favorite. Well, actually, it's not... Well, I don't think it's the only nice frost skin. The Frost Deluxe skin's really good. The, I forget the name, but the one that's... It's his Deluxe you can get for plat. Oh, did I not trigger this alarm, apparently? There we go.
Sentry is attempting to purge you from this place. Stand by for life support.
This live stream isn't really going to be a guide or anything for people who are used to my guide-like videos. This is, again, this is just entirely a stream test. And yes, the one with the horns, Mary Berry. I forget the name of the skin, but it's the deluxe skin, so it just costs platinum. So you're able to get it just for plat instead of real money, which is nice. Man, I love the dual tox assist. Thank you, Zarashai. Welcome to the stream. Glad you enjoy the content. I meant to put out some more guide-like videos recently, but I've had some personal medical emergencies that I've been dealing with, unfortunately. So some of my videos are a little delayed, but I'll make sure to get back to those as quickly as I can for you all. My game audio is still a little too loud for comfort. Let me know if you guys can still hear the game, by the way. I've probably turned that down a little too much for you guys. Let me turn that back up so you guys aren't just listening to me. And that's what I get for going into my settings while people are shooting at me. Somebody stole my gun. Very rude of them. And his overguard augment is so much better now that they added the armor buff to it. For anybody who doesn't know, Frost's 4th augment, what's it called? Icy Avalanche. It now, overguard increases by 20% of your armor once per enemy, and that 20% of your armor scales with power strength, so that's way more overguard now. I know I'm going down a lot, just because I'm not paying attention. A good thing it's so easy to get back up. I'm looking back and forth between my stream settings and the game, so I'm not entirely focused on my gameplay right now. If anybody watching could let me know if the game is either too loud or too quiet for you guys, that would be very helpful. Game volume's good, game volume's good. Okay, that's good. I want to make sure I'm not either blowing your guys' eardrums out or making it so that you can only hear me. Very good. Alright. Like I said, first time doing this, so... Hello, Acolyte. Goodbye, Acolyte. Got to love crewmates. Fun fact about crewmate damage. They ignore Acolyte damage attenuation. That's why they instantly kill Acolytes. Especially when they have a Kubazar. Crewmate's probably getting... My crewmate's probably getting more kills than I am right now. They're crazy. What's my plan with streaming in the future? I do want to start streaming. I know that's, you know, the path to glory when it comes to being a YouTuber, and specifically a Warframe YouTuber. You have to stream along with making videos. And I've had a few people already, you know, viewers ask about me doing streams alongside my videos and starting a Discord and things like that, so I'm working on those kind of things. Want to get some more, you know, access to my content and myself out to people who are interested in that. And welcome to the stream, Marissa, or Maressi, however you pronounce her name. Maris. One of those. I'll get it right eventually. For anybody tuning in, I am just playing around with some of the Frost reworks, most notably the buff that his Icy Avalanche augment got, giving him way more overguard. And I gotta say, it feels pretty good. Especially when you pair it with a nice icy weapon like the Tenant Glaxion. Am I open to playing with viewers? Absolutely. Not right now, if that's what you mean, because right now I am doing some system testing that requires my focus. But in the future, yeah, I don't see why I would have any issue playing with viewers. That sounds like a great time. Maybe we could do some fishers together, things like that. Sounds like a good time for sure. What do Warframe streamers talk about while they sit on stream, huh? The weather? My build? Who knows? Speaking of my build, for anybody watching who's actually seen my Frost video, I have made some adjustments to that version of the build. I am using less range. Like I mentioned, I might test out in that build, and like some commenters said on the video, I should use a lot less range and more power strength. That's what I'm trying out right now. I do like it, as long as you're on a small enough tile to where it's manageable, which, you know, a room like this is good for that. Bye, Acolyte. I'll tell you what, for anybody who has not used this Harmony Scythe yet, it is insane. Look at this damage. 15 million damage on the heavy attack. 27 million damage. Holy. 14 million damage. Yeah, it just insta-kills everything, basically. Maybe I should do a video on that, huh? These damage numbers are absurd. $64 million damage. 64 million damage. Wow. Definitely a fun build. Do you have the Harmony Zoinkers already built? Like, no, do you know the reason why it's so good? Like, essentially the reason why it does so much damage is because the Harmony has a passive effect where when you heavy attack an enemy and the enemy gets the lifted status on them or they're knocked down. Or, sorry, no. That's the Arcane. I'm using Harmony with the Melee Afflictions Arcane. The Melee Afflictions Arcane makes it so that if you apply the lifted status to an enemy, it adds 6 stacks of whatever status is on them. And the Harmony, since it's a Scythe, on the heavy attack is a forced slash proc. And it's also a forced lifted status, so it triggers Affliction each time. So basically, it's 7 slash procs guaranteed on every heavy attack. But then the Harmony itself has a passive effect where it collapses all damage over times. Like, all of the duration is reduced into a single hit, so instead of dealing damage over time, all 7 of the slash procs instantly deal all of their damage. So it just basically instantly kills anything.
They know you're here. Prepare for sentient fighters. This is yours by right.
Hopefully I didn't explain that too terribly. Like I said, I should probably do a video on it. I wonder how much of an audio delay I have on my stream here. Between when I speak and when you guys actually hear me. Yeah, you can never have too much Forma. That is 100% true. Even though I grinded out Plague Star towards the end of last year and I got up to like 180 Forma, I've already used it all. And yes, Mr. Non-Fat Pillow, this is my first YouTube live stream. I'm just doing a sort of system test, basically, to see how the quality of the stream is, both in terms of audio and the visual quality, to see if I have decent settings, basically, enabled. So I'm not really doing anything super exciting in this video. I'm just doing a Fisher mission while I test out the stream. Hello, Mr. Nabaron. Welcome to the stream test. I could use a little bit of air here, huh? Get out of here, violence. Yeah, snapshotting on Gyre, or any frame that can snapshot, which is basically any frame that has like channeled or maintainable abilities, it's an absolutely huge damage increase. Like the way that I build for frames, who I plan to bring to like a Fisher run, where they're gonna get corrupted in that double strength, is totally different than like a regular build, because you can count on that extra strength. Didn't I turn D&D on? Why am I getting messages? Apparently I didn't have it on. Whoops. Tell him that I'm busy. Well, let's see here. How do you think Gyre would work with the Hydroid helmet? I'm assuming... Do you mean the Hydroid helmet and also using the augment to make it... Or no, it already applies corrosive, doesn't it? The augment makes it do viral, I believe. So if you mean, like, use Hydroid's helmet and then use, like, what, emerald shards to make it strip all the way? I assume that's what you mean? So that you can replace the strip from pillage? I don't think it would be as good, only because you might get the same armor strip effect that you're looking for, but part of pillage being good that I tried to explain in the video isn't just the fact that it strips armor, it's also the fact that Gyre is a frame that can really only survive well off of shield gating, and pillage is a fantastic shield restore for her build. So it's not just the DPS increase of armor stripping, it's also how she survives. So that's why I recommend pillage. Just works really well with her specific build. And Io Polo, I'm glad you liked the Dagoth video. Kind of wish I had jumped on the bandwagon of putting Jade's ability on Dagoth that everybody else seems to be doing. So that does seem to be a good idea. Maybe I should have covered that as an option as well. But yeah, I definitely like the Dagoth augment. Every single other Dagoth video I've seen, I swear, puts or Phantom Eyes ability on her from Jade. I guess I'm the only one who wasn't using it. But yeah, hopefully that answered your question, Nabaron. Definitely not a bad idea, I just don't think that her survivability would be as good without pillage. So you would have to figure out how you're consistently getting your shields back without it. Especially because on the build that I proposed, I forget, was I using corrosive projection in the build, or was I using brief? If you're not using enough strength to where you have to use corrosive projection to strip armor still, then that means you're also not using brief respite, so that's another reason why you would definitely need to keep pillage. Oh, you put Calavera's skill on, the Wrathful Advance. Yeah, that would definitely make her pretty good at meleeing. Especially with how much duration and range or I mean duration and strength you're probably already building for in that build. Get out of here, Frax. Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure I was, because corrosive is the only way that you can get it with just 328 strength. Yeah, so you have to use corrosive projection on the build, so since you have to use corrosive projection, meaning that you can't use brief respite, that really makes you want to use pillage, because that takes away the ability to use brief respite, which is typically how you could shield get on most warframes. I'll just one tap that acolyte. Goodbye. Yeah, this new Frost setup is pretty chill, I'll tell you what, because his Overguard generation is much better now. Much, much better. I can't imagine running Frost without that Icy Avalanche augment now. Well, I'm glad the stream quality is good. Am I testing something on Frost? Not so much testing, just as verifying how good the buff to his augment is. Let me, hold on, give me a moment. I'm getting an alert on my stream about my stream settings. Says my bitrate is too low for recommended. Interesting. Whoop. So, sorry, a little AFK here. Hopefully I didn't just put that on stream. I'm pretty sure I'm only streaming the game right now. Hold on, guys. Give me a sec. I'm fixing something right now. Yeah, I don't think I leaked anything, because I'm pretty sure I have my stream set to only stream my game window. But I just pulled up my stream key on my main monitor, so I was like, oh, whoops. But yeah, it looks like it didn't come up. Yeah. Anyway, sorry. Are you testing something on Frost? I'm not. I'm just looking at his the rework to his augment. Basically, the Icy Avalanche gives way more armor now. So I'm just seeing how much smoother that makes his gameplay. Essentially, Nabaron. My air's getting real low here because I'm not paying attention. What progenitor is my Galaxion? It is magnetic, which you can see in the videos where I go over that. Yeah, I like the magnetic as a progenitor for a couple of reasons, especially since the status rework that we got with the Jade Shadows update. Magnetic is better than ever, and for Tenant and Cube weapons in particular, it's a really good progenitor choice because since it's already a combined element, that means that it doesn't interfere with any specific elements that you want to mod for, because, again, it's already combined, so you can put on any single or other hybrid elements that you want, and the magnetic won't mess with that, so it's just a free element on the side. And the reason why that's good is because for the purposes of the galvanized mods, like Galvanized Aptitude, which gives you more damage per each status type you put on the enemy, since you usually wouldn't actually mod for magnetic, it's basically just an extra element that's there on the side to stack up the damage bonus for that mod. Do I think Blast is overrated? No, I don't think it's overrated. It's very good. Like, if you go watch the video that I released, for example, on the Blast build that I tried out on the Dual Toxicist, which is actually what I'm using right now, so you don't even need to see the video. Let me whip this out. So I can get some stacks here. And Blast is quite good. You just have to use it on the right weapons. A lot of people... You know, some people are saying Blast is bad, but it's because they're not using it on weapons that properly utilize the Blast status. Like, you have to think about how the status actually works. The damage of the Blast status is based off of the base damage of the weapon. So if you use it on like really high fire rate but super low damage per shot weapons, then it might not appear great. Look at my overguard up here. No, I'm loving the new blast. Right now I'm testing out using a pure blast build where I was using a blast corrosive build, but I replaced the electric mod on my Toxicist with Seeker to have punch through to get extra ricochets on the Toxicist, and it seems to be pretty decent. So now it's a blast toxin build since the Toxicist gets extra toxin damage on headshot. That definitely works. Yeah, I would highly recommend getting these guns. Nabaron. They're fantastic. Immediately became one of my favorite secondaries. The dual Ichor Incarnin melee as well. Super good. I actually was thinking about doing a video on those. Especially on Saren, they are disgusting. I took those to the Kuva Fortress and I got 190 kills per minute. Melee only. Hello from Russia. Well, hello. You've traveled quite the distance, virtually. Glad to have you here. These things are so good. Got a decent ribbon on my Toxicist too. Don't have a negative on them, unfortunately, but still quite good. It's 10:34 a.m. where you are, huh? Yeah, that's just about the opposite time of what it is for me. Thank you for dropping in so early in the morning. Seems like no matter how fast I kill, I just don't get enough air, huh? Could use a Necros here, I guess.
The Grenier and Corvus came here in search of treasure, but only found oblivion. They are trespassers here. We are not. Sentient scouts. If they detect you, fighters will soon attack.
Boltal barrel. So, if any of you wonderful viewers are playing Warframe right now, what are you guys up to? What are you grinding out at the moment? You doing the new event?
The Sentient has detected you. Fighters incoming. These manifestations must not be allowed a foothold in Rua. Life support is at risk. Destroy them.
So much damage. Breaking your head over something right now. Don't do that. Put a helmet on first. Oh yeah, got corrupted. There's some overguard. There is some overguard. Let's throw down a Nidus Spectre and see if I can get some really crazy overguard. Can I hit 100,000 overguard on Frost? Just like that, 109,000. That's crazy. What a insane amount of overguard. Trying to reverse theorycraft my current Harmony build based on the new teachings you gave earlier. Are you referring to some of the things I said in the status video? And yes, this is a test stream. I do plan on starting to stream at some point, because I know a lot of people want me to do that. So, gotta provide what the people want. Trying to use Aki Core with my Gyre, but it keeps proccing electric status, not allowing to ship armor with corrosive damage. Trying to use Aki Core with Gyre, but it keeps proccing electric status, not allowing to ship armor with the corrosive damage. Don't know how I think it cross. I'm not sure what you mean about not being able to proc corrosive. If you have corrosive on your Aki Core, it'll do corrosive. Gyre doesn't make your weapons do electric damage. That's not an ability she has. So make sure that you actually have corrosive on your weapon. And the reason I got 100,000 overguard is because I'm in a Fisher mission right now. One of the buffs you can get when you pick up your 10th reactant is you get a temporary double power strength buff. So I got that, and I also put down a Nidus Spectre to give me more strength, and that's how I was able to get 100,000 overguard. I can't usually get that much. Oh, yeah, the force slash. Yeah, so it's a scythe, and most scythes, if not all scythes in the game, have a forced slash proc and lifted status on heavy attack. So it makes melee afflictions work perfectly because melee afflictions requires a lifted status to trigger a lifted status or knockdown, I believe, and then it also adds extra stacks of whatever status you put on them. So since it does lifted and slash, the lifted triggers it, and the slash that it causes gets multiplied up to 7 slash procs. And then the Harmony itself makes all those slash procs do all their damage instantly instead of over time. So it's a perfect combination. Hello, Flameblaze. Glad to have you here. Oh, nice, my cat's procking. For anybody watching the stream right now, pay attention to the amount of steel essence that I'm about to get from this acolyte. I'm using a Smita Kavat right now, and one of the buffs they have is that they can give you a temporary double resource buff, and it's going off right now. I'm about to get twice as much steel essence from this acolyte.
These manifestations, they aren't from the neural century. Destroy them. They are drawing from the life.
Once he unfreezes. There we go. 10 steel essence instead of 5. 10 steel essence from one acolyte. That is why you use Smita Kavats. Yes, Flameblaze, this is my first ever stream. I'm just doing a systems test right now to make sure that the audio and visual levels are good. So that if I do a, real streams in the future, everything looks alright, rather than, going live and having the stream look terrible. Hello, Stefan. Welcome. Addition overload and the Tennokai. No, you definitely want to keep a Tennokai mod on. The Tennokai mod's perfect because you're going to be doing heavy attacks all the time. And that Tennokai mod will make you have plenty of, free heavy attacks. The Tennokai mod that I'm currently using on it is, I think it's Discipline's Merit. The one that makes it so that instead of Tennokai being somewhat random, you get it every 4 hits. So you get very consistent, free Tennokai hits. I'm definitely glad to have you here, Flameblaze. Welcome to the first ever stream. Even if it's not that exciting. Just doing some Fisher grinding here. YouTube is recommending that I turn up my bitrate, because apparently my, I guess my video quality could look a little better. Ooh, man. Glad I bought this energy drink on the way home. Yeah, Dreamer's Wrath is good. Gives you a lot of damage. Thing is, you don't really need that damage on the Harmony, because it already one-hits basically anything in the game that is actually vulnerable to melee afflictions like the lifted status. It's gonna die. You said the bitrate is getting cooked? Oh, so it doesn't look good? Well, that's not good. Let me see if I can... Maybe I can try to fix that. I'm not sure if I'm able to change that while I am in a stream, though. Audio suddenly got choppy. Well, that's not good. That's just not good at all. Sorry guys, I'm trying to figure out the stream situation. If you're saying it doesn't look good right now. You said, what are ideal stats for Harmony Ribbon? I don't even know if you could really get a good ribbon for the Harmony, because, like you said, it's a new weapon, so that means the ribbons are 0.5 dispo right now. So it would be pretty hard to find something actually worth using. But, like, you know, technically the good stats would be, you know, the generic stuff: crit chance, crit damage, melee damage, you know, faction damage if you wanted to destroy a certain faction. But all of the stats are going to be super low because the ribbons are low, you know, low dispo. So might be hard to get a good one. Well, I'm glad you liked the videos, Brian. I don't have a direct, you know, Titania build video, but I did do a video on Titania for doing Archon hunts. So I do kind of have a video on her. Yeah, I do love Titania. She's very good. She's one of the frames that really benefits from that Precision Intensify mod that we got from the Whispers in the Wall area. Onward to the 8th relic. Is my audio issue resolved? Hopefully my audio isn't still choppy.
I fear we are seeing the consequences of that risk now. Destroy these void-stained enemies.
So, the weapons, I'm not sure why you would put magnetic on Dex Pixia, except for a very, you know, niche application of some very specific Corpus. Like, even against Corpus, most of the time you want to use Toxin damage, not magnetic, since Toxic damage ignores shields. But I would say, if it's between those two choices, Blast will be generally better. Either that or go Corrosive. And she has pretty good status chance, so you could go Corrosive and then put 2 Emerald Shards on her and make it so that Corrosive procs fully strip, and that's one of the easiest ways to really beef up your damage on Titania, is making her able to totally take enemy armor off. You could go like a Corrosive Heat build with 2 Emerald Shards, and then you could also use the Topaz Shards for getting a crit chance up from heat procs, things like that. Although she doesn't really have a whole lot of crit chance, honestly. Hello, Nick Childs. Welcome to the stream.
They know you're here. Prepare for sentient fighters.
Yeah, man, Frost is so chill now, no pun intended. Or maybe a little bit of pun intended, but he is quite chill. Does Melee Elementalist work on Harmony passive? Yep, it absolutely does. You should 100% use Melee Elementalist on the Harmony. It is a hilarious damage increase. It's the reason why Harmony does so much damage is from collapsing all of that status damage into a single tick. And then, yeah, all of that status damage is multiplied by 1.9 from Melee Elementalist, so it's a enormous damage increase. Absolutely essential mod in that build. Do you think they're going to add magnetic 60/60 mod since it got buffed? I don't know. Everybody, I've been asked that before. People have said the same thing about they're going to ask blast 60/60 mods. That would be interesting. I don't know if they plan to add all of the hybrid elements to the game as, you know, singular mods, just because they might have balance concerns about that. Because like they did it for radiation, but radiation is, you know, not nearly as strong as if you had blast in one mod or corrosive in one mod. Because if you can get those in one mod, then that gets into really, you know, dangerous builds where you can have, you know, if they released a corrosive 60/60, for example, you could have corrosive and viral on the same gun on any build. If you put blast on one mod, then you could easily have corrosive blast builds, which are quite strong. So I don't know how much they're worried about balance concerns, but I would definitely like to see it. And yeah, the Elementalist mods are absolutely goated. I'm using it on my dual Toxicist right now, which is currently a Blast Toxin build. Does quite a bit of damage. Especially if you play a Saren. Holy God, if you play a Saren with this, it is unholy. How much damage you do? Trying to put a build together for what, Titania? You gotta put some form on her, man. Alright. I just saw that ads started for some of you guys. I just skipped those ads. Just so you didn't have to watch that right now. Yeah, I would like any of the hybrid elements as new standalone mods. If they did gas, blast, viral, corrosive, magnetic, anything, any hybrid element released as a new combined mod would make several interesting build choices. They would never do viral, obviously, but that would sure be funny.
These manifestations must not be allowed a foothold on Lua. Life support is at risk. Destroy them.
Yeah, if you're talking about my Titania, she's quite good. Where's this acolyte? Come here, buddy. Let me roast you. Goodbye. Hey, just because it's a test stream doesn't mean that I, you know, can't say hi to all the viewers for a little bit. Why not? Can't do a good test in 3 minutes. See, people say that, but viral slash never was the only viable strat. Like, especially with corrosive shards, for example. You just have to know how to throw your builds together. Especially depending on, you know, frame-specific builds. You could easily not use viral slash. Why go viral when every frame runs Nourish anyway? I'm not sure what you mean. I don't have viral on any of my weapons right now, if you mean my weapons at the moment. If you mean it in general, like why do people mod for viral? I mean, it's because not, you know, that's the meme obviously, but not everybody actually runs Nourish and everything. But yeah, I agree. If you are running Nourish, then you should not mod your weapons for viral. You should mod it for something else so that you can have overlapping buffs. For sure. That's the way to go. And yeah, Brian, gas on clumped enemies is quite hilarious. In fact, I should do a video on that. There's some pretty funny things you can do with gas. I do love me some Tenet Galaxion. Man, the dual toxicists are so insane.
Oculists, if they scan you, sentient fighters won't be far behind.
What's my opinion on Jade Eximus? Well, now that they fixed the bug where they accidentally did like 7 quadrillion damage per second, they're much better to deal with. I don't have a problem with them personally. I mean, especially from a lore perspective, I like them quite a bit.
The sentient is onto you. Look out.
I think, you know, bringing in the concept of the Executioner's Jade Light into the game finally is cool. In terms of them mechanically, they, as long as, you know, their beam doesn't do too much damage like it did on launch, then it's not really too hard to deal with. The beam is pretty easy to avoid. You can also shoot the beam. If you shoot at the top of the beam, you can actually kill it. So I don't find it to be too much of an issue. Electric, gas, melee, influence build showcase. Yeah, that's actually what I use on my my dual Icar build, the dual Icar Incarnate. It is very nasty. I think I'm gonna hop out of this. No, I'll do 5 more minutes, because at the 50-minute mark you get another bonus relic, so I'm gonna go to the 50-minute mark and then hop out this mission here. Droopy Johns, I don't use Nourish. I do run gas on my primary. It has viral on my secondary. Melee does. Yep, that definitely, that works too. Utilizing your whole loadout is always a smart thing to do. Yeah, primary outburst. That would be interesting.
Void signatures, but outside the perimeter. They are draining your life support, and fast. Eliminate them quickly.
Oh yeah, give me those orange crits. Woo! I do love those orange crits.
Well done, Tenno. Your relic is open.
Now that's a lot of overgrowth. Yeah, that's an old build. That's yeah, that idea has been around. The Rock the Dark Dagger goes crazy hard with melee influence, and it basically makes you immortal because of the shield regen that it gives. Absolutely, Nick. That's Nick Childs. That's the way to go. Don't level up any of your mods. Turn the game into Dark Souls difficulty. 100%. Yeah, so I am streaming, Tansky. Glad to have you here. I'm actually using that arcane on my Frost right now, Brian. The what's it called? Arcane Ice Storm. I actually have it active right now. Quite nice. Getting 40% duration and 40% strength from one Arcane is pretty potent. I used it on my Dagoth video as well, since I wanted a ton of duration for her spectral form. The Sonicore meta. Yeah, the Tenno space program. Send enemies into the stratosphere. You know what I miss as a secondary meta, or just when it was good, was when the Static War briefly was buffed to where the alt fire shot had the, or sorry, the quick shot had the same full AoE as the charge shot. So you could just, especially if you put on Prime Fulmination, you could just spam 16-meter AoE shots. It was incredible. I missed that. I think that only lasted for like a month before they reverted it. Yeah, World on Fire Ember was good. I will say Ember is definitely more usable now in higher level content. But I did like the old World on Fire for sure. Nice map clear.
Those oculists are scanning for targets. A sentient has detected you. Fighters incoming.
Wildcat's Nova build. His Nova build is basically the same as the one that I showed in like the Netrasol video that people were laughing at for using Umbral Fiber, even though I specifically said that you could obviously replace it for like another duration mod or whatnot. Anything with the Aki core goes hard, Brian, when you have that augment on it. Alright, let me hop out of this mission after I kill these Thraxi boys here.
Will drain your life support unless they are destroyed.
Where's the other one? Come here. Very satisfying just smacking them into ghost form with Harmony. Like a whap! There you go.
Very good.
You guys want to see something funny in the Simulacrum? Something real funny.
The multitude of creatures you have immortalized would cry out in thanks.
Isnell for Steel Path Interception solo. I use Slow Nova for solo interceptions Slow Nova makes it super easy. Flame Blaze, trying to grind if that. Even if you don't get the Octavia, the Resonator Helmet, the Nova build without it is still really good. Like, the core build is still good. Your survivability just goes up quite a bit from using Resonator. But if you can put just the mods together, even then, the build's quite good to use. Alright, let's go to the Simulacrum here. Let's go to the gorgeous new Moonlit Simulacrum. One of the 7 new ones that they added. Alright, here's the Compressa Primer build that I'm about to showcase here. I do have this Riven on. It's just a bunch of multi-shot and fire rate. Doesn't matter if you have a Riven or not. Let me put on the Siam. So, funny thing about the Siam, this is one of the weapons from Duviri. It has a unique trait. Heavy attacks launch shockwaves, dealing heat damage in a straight line. So it turns out that this right here, that wave that it releases, that wave scales multiplicatively instead of additively with condition overload. So for condition overload here, when it says plus 80% melee damage per status effect, it's a multiplicative 80% increase per status effect. So it multiplies off of base damage, like Prime Pressure Point, for example. So it's an insane amount of damage. And when you combine that with the Compressa, which puts a ton of statuses on enemies, you're about to see what happens. So I'm going to summon in 20 level 225 Steel Path Heavy Gunners. So these are Steel Path Heavy Gunners, full armor. And check out what this does. Whoop! Goodbye. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty funny. Let's run that back, shall we? Go ahead and group them up like that. And just spit out a ton of stat. Look how many statuses the Compressor puts on people with secondary and cover. It's actually insane. Yeah, then you just completely obliterate them in a single shot of the Siam. So that's fun. Definitely like that. Alright, you want to see what 12 times heavy attack? It won't make a difference. They get one shot no matter what, even with just 2 times with the corrupt charge. But yeah, I can actually, let me make sure I can actually maintain 12x combo. Let me see here. I'll just put on Naramon to make sure I have at least 11x combo by the time I hit them. I suppose grouping them up to make this go faster. Okay. Well, I guess I'll just kill this group. Yeah, 41 million damage. 41 million damage, and that wasn't even 12x, that was like 11x. Yeah, I'll show the builds. The Korra build doesn't matter, because it's just, I just have her on because of the Entangle. I mean, this is my regular Korra build if you're interested, but you don't even need to use Korra for this if you want the grouping, because for Entangle is her helmet ability, or Ensnare rather is her helmet, so you can put this on anybody. That's the only reason I threw her on. The only builds that really matter is the Compressa here. Here's the Compressa build. I do have a Riven on mine. If you didn't have this Riven is multi-shot and fire rate, you could typically put something like Anemic Agility here, so you can just spit out more rounds super fast. Or you could put on, you know, more status chance, or it doesn't really matter. Just anything that enhances your status output, basically, is all that matters for the Compressa. And you have to use secondary encumber. Secondary Encumber is the reason why they had so many statuses on them. And the Scion build isn't even done. Like, this literally doesn't even have an 8th mod on it, as you can see. So, this could obviously do even more damage. But this is the current build. The only things that really matter is, like, the core fundamentals. Well, it's basically every mod on here. I was going to say, really the only thing that you don't technically need is a Prime Fever Strike. You need the Condition Overload, because the Condition Overload, the fact that it is basically bugged to be multiplicative is the reason why it does so much damage. Sacrificial Steel, you need Sacrificial Steel plus Corrupt Charge to make sure that you can spam those 2x heavy attacks, and you have plenty of crit chance for your heavy attacks. So you get guaranteed crits. And you definitely want to use a Prime Smite mod, of course, because that's a huge damage increase. You don't have, well, I mean, you don't have to use it. It does millions of damage, but if you want to get the giga numbers, then you need to use this. And then Prime Pressure Point is there because the multiplicative damage from Condition Overload scales off of your base damage. And then Fever Strike is the one thing that you could basically replace if you wanted to, but it's just a lot of upfront damage, so it's good. What would I put there? What, in the 8th mod slot? Well, right now I'm using Pure Toxin, so if I wanted to do even more upfront damage, then I would put on another elemental to match whatever element they're weak to. So, for example, if I was going to go use this against Grenier, if I put an electric mod here, then it would be corrosive, and that would make the hit do 50% more upfront damage, because that's what they're weak to. So basically, you can just change the elemental combination to match the weakness of whatever you're currently fighting. Yeah, it's multiplicative because the heavy attack is a projectile. I'm glad that you know that. A lot of people don't know about that, so I just specify the weapon itself. But yeah, basically, projectile weapons in the game are bugged to be multiplicative with condition overload type effects. It's one of the reasons why the Plasmor is so strong. Like, if I pull out the Plasmor here, since the Plasmor wave is a projectile, Galvanized Savvy scales multiplicatively off of all the base damage you can get from it. So that does a ton of damage. Like, especially if you use it on Mag here, it's hilarious. Yeah, I didn't even have the arcanes stacked up, and it just murders them like that. It's insane, and that, like, was out without even having statuses on them. So if I pull out the compressor here, let's pull out the compressor. So this guy right here, for example, I'll put the compressor on him, and then shoot him. Yeah, 1.7 million damage. That one didn't crit. 2.3 million damage. Oh, didn't crit, sadly. Why am I hitting so many non-crits? 2.6 million damage again. Yeah, it's crazy. Absolutely crazy amounts of damage. And that's without even armor stripping. Like, if I, let me armor strip this guy here. Do that. Then hit him. Still two. Oh, actually, yeah. I guess that would have really changed a whole lot. Yeah, just huge amounts of damage. It's crazy. Yeah, any of those kind of projectile melees work really well. The Quasis that you mentioned, like the Quasis and the Gunson Prime, stuff like that, the ult fires on those, you can make them do enough damage to where they, like, one-tap the Necromech Demolus in the Sanctum. Like, yeah, they're crazy. Go back to my ship here. Hello, Infinity Void. Welcome to the test stream. The very, very long test stream, apparently. Still saying my bitrate is too low. What bitrate do you want me to use, YouTube? Let me go Google that. Alright, I'm gonna pump my bitrate way up, and you guys let me know if anything happens, huh? How do I adjust this? Let me see here. I'm a little AFK at the moment, so give me just a second, guys. Man, where are these bitrate settings? This is crazy.
Sorry. Artists will play with the volume off.
I must be blind. I must be clinically blind. Alright, here we go. Open up these settings here. Let's go to my output. For streaming. Right now I'm at 8,000 bitrate. Let's turn it up to 20,000. Alright, just went from 8 to 20,000 bitrate. Let's see if YouTube explodes. Alright, what comments did I miss? What is boosting my parkour velocity? You seem to roll and jump super fast. I don't think I have any parkour velocity shards on my mag at the moment, do I? Yeah, no, I don't have any. I guess I'm just built different is all. So yeah, somebody wants to see my Gyre build, okay.
As ready as you will ever be.
Oh, now the video's buffering. That's not good. That's not good. Hold on, guys. Having some technical issues here. Let's knock that down to 15,000 and see what happens. Says YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. As such, viewers will experience buffering. That's no good. You guys are going to have to let me know what it looks like on your end. Yeah, Ultima. That was the Gyre build, and I also have, these are the Archon shards I have. I have 2 of the Tau Forged 15% ability damage against enemies affected by electric status. I have 2 Tau Forged for ability strength, and I have 1 Tau Forged for casting speed. So those are the shards. And again, this is the build. It has Pillage on, replacing her first ability. You can replace her first or second ability, it doesn't matter. The only ones you have to keep are her third and fourth. You need those. YouTube is still saying that my bitrate might be too high now. I'm not sure. Let me turn it down again. Put on 12,000 now. Well, buffering often is not a good thing. Just want this error to go away. We'll test out the stream in another Fisher here, perhaps. Oh, actually, what am I doing? Put a relic on. Is the video still buffering at all?
Signs show Grenier are harvesting Kuba nearby. Set off the alarms to draw them out, then steal their Kuba catalysts. Void Fishers, you need them to open a relic, but are you confident you can withstand their fury?
You guys are gonna have to let me know how the stream looks. Hopefully it's not lagging like crazy.
Grenier have shut down the environmental systems, sending modified life support capsules. Use these to sustain your environment or attach it to the catalysts to begin harvesting. You found a fissure. Look out for reactant. Corrupted foes are dropping reactant. Use it to crack open a relic. Don't forget the reactant. You need more to...
I do apologize if the stream quality is not great right now. Again, I am just, you know, playing around with some settings, trying to maximize its output without blowing up your guys' computers. Yeah, I've got a nice ribbon on mine too, Brian. Very fun weapon. Especially with Gyre buffing its crit chance.
Attach it to a life support capsule to begin harvesting Kuba. Prepare for life support.
Yeah, I've got it on 12k now, Brian, so I'm hoping that's around like the sweet spot.
Caution, Tenno. Capsules harvesting Kuba provide minimal life support.
YouTube is still giving me an alert saying that I might be buffering for some of you, but none of you are saying it's having any issues, then hopefully it's okay. Yeah, Gyre's so good. If I had to pick a favorite Warframe, and I don't like doing that, people ask me all the time what my favorite frame is, and you know I usually say I like to bring whatever is good for the mission or for the team. But if I was forced to pick a favorite Warframe, I might have to say Gyre.
Life support incoming. Commencing Kuba harvest.
Yeah, you can see that pillage really aids quite a bit in her survivability. And Dante Spectre is excellent as well.
Another life support capsule is now available.
Orange crits. How about these red crits? We're playing this Gyre, baby. We're going for those red critties. Especially once I get corrupted. They all are red crits.
Harvester has finished. Collect the Kuba. Modification successful. Collecting Kuba.
What do the colors actually do? I know having different colors means something, but is it just colors or something else? What do you mean by colors? Colors for what?
For a capsule.
Oh, the colors for the crits here's? Yeah, the different colors are super important. So when you see well, assuming that you haven't changed off of the default colors, when you see a white number, that means that you're just doing regular non-critical damage. When you see yellow, it means that you're doing a critical hit. So if you look at your arsenal, you'll see the critical multiplier of your weapon. If it says 3x, for example, and when you see that yellow damage, it means that you're doing critical damage, which means that you're doing 3x damage if you have a 3x crit multiplier.
Support has arrived.
When you go to orange, or every color above that, you get your crit multiplier added on again, but -1. So if you have a 3x crit multiplier, then a orange goes from 3 to 5 because you get 2 out of that 3. And then if you go from orange to red, you go all the way up to 7 because again, every time you go up another color, you keep getting your crit multiplier -1 again. And it actually goes up infinitely. The last color that you see is red, but every time that your crit chance goes into a new 100% territory, you can keep adding that crit multiplier on over and over and over again. Hopefully that made sense. Basically, the more crit chance you have, the more crit damage you do. And in terms of, if you don't know how like crit chance works in regards to the colors, up to 100% crit chance is a chance for a regular crit, so it'd be yellow crits. If you have 130% crit chance, for example, that means that you have a 100% chance to hit a regular critical hit, and then that would be a 30% chance to instead hit an orange critical hit. And if you went up to, for example, 230% critical chance, that would be guaranteed to hit orange crits with a 30% chance to hit red crits, and so on, so on. Let me grab that core here.
I've delivered another life support capsule.
Well, I'm glad that helped. I would highly recommend... Oh, that guy just nullified me. That's rude. I would highly recommend using the wiki as well. It's a really good resource. The Warframe.wiki, or whatever it's called. Has all that kind of information. Very helpful. Although a lot of people just call me the wiki, so I suppose there's that.
Well done, Tenno. You're relatively.
I need to get more kills per minute, apparently.
Life support.
Need to keep that air up. Stop nullifying me, it's so rude. Nullifier is the worst enemy in the game. The true endgame. Being nullified.
Kuba from that capsule. Another life support capsule is now available.
Alright, where's this core carrier? Coming to me. Let me have your sweet, sweet Kuva core.
Commencing Kuba harvest.
Took you to Warframe Attic Friends into a Destiny raid. I'm sure that went well. I'm sure you had no deaths, and everything went perfectly, right? Right? So, it depends. The question you just asked me, Brian, about when is it diminishing returns, it depends on how you're getting your crit chance to crit damage. The concept of diminishing returns mostly applies to efficiently using your mod space. So, if you're just looking at modding the weapon, then most of the time you don't go past using one crit chance mod and 1 or 2 crit damage mods, because you want to have multiple damage stacking mechanics. You want to have multi-shot, you want to have fire rate, you want to have crit, you want to have elemental damage, So all these things multiply off of each other. So if you just have, you know, 6 of your 8 mods being crit chance, crit damage, then you're not going to do very well. But if you're playing as a Warframe like Harrow, who can give you more crit chance or crit damage outside of your weapon, there's no reason not to use that. There's no diminishing returns on that aspect because you're not wasting any spots in the weapon itself. So it depends on what you mean. Why is my ability off? Oh, it's because it's violence, so you nullified me. How rude. Get out of here, man. Okay, where am I going? I did not mean to do that. Whoops. Thought I was holding a core. Well, there goes that arrow. That's why I switched to my melee, so I dropped the Kuba core down there. Whoopsie. No, we are getting raids back, actually. That's essentially confirmed by the developers. In fact, they said they're actually going to talk about bringing the trials, or not bringing them back, but they're going to discuss the trials this year. They said that last year. So we are getting them back in some form or another. If I had to guess, I would say next year raids are going to be returning. 2025. I think they should turn.
This capsule will now harvest
I don't know what leaks you're talking about, but if you saw any actual leaks, don't talk about that in the chat, please. Speaking of Warframe 1999, I think it would be really cool to make that into a raid, like where it's like a weekly raid or a daily raid, whatever, where you go back in time and have to stop the man in the wall from, you know, like messing with the timeline. Would be an interesting raid goal. Have maybe some temporal puzzle mechanics. Man, Gyre is so good. Crazy. It's amazing how many people don't use this Warframe. Ah, look at that Blitz Eximus killing my Harvester. They do so much damage. It is insane how much damage the Blitz Eximus do.
Prepare for life support. Another life support capsule is now available.
How's the stream quality been during this Fisher run, by the way? Has the bitrate been okay? Hopefully not lagging like crazy for anybody, or, you know, unwatchable pixel count.
This capsule will now harvest Kuba.
And yeah, I can show you the boar build after I get out of the mission here. Keep in mind that part of the reason why I'm doing so much damage right now is because of the fact that I'm playing as Gyre, and her third ability is a crit chance buff, so I'm red critting on the boar. On top of the
Capsule.
nice ribbon I have, I think it's a crit chance multi-shot. But even without any of that, it's an amazing weapon, of course. Man, they're just really blowing up my towers now. Rip. Need somebody to play as a Frost here or something.
The harvesting capsule has been destroyed.
Easily back up. Oh, this one's probably going to get destroyed too, but we'll see.
Collecting Kuba.
Alright, see ya, Sentinel. Have a good night. Sleep good. Yelling Pal World, huh? Haven't played that game. A lot of my friends have played it, so it's pretty fun. Haven't really heard anything about it for the last couple of months, though. It seemed like it was really big for like a month or two there, and then kind of dropped off. Maybe because they haven't added a whole lot of content. I don't know. Hello, Gud Fader. Good Fadar. How do we pronounce her name? Nice to have you here. Alright, let's get to extraction here. And I can show you that boar build that you wanted to see.
Look what our Tenno operative just found. They could not do this without you.
Holy. That. Hello, Gamble. If you are the if you are the real Gamble, hello. Welcome to the stream. Oh my God. Wow. Well, this is interesting. I love your videos. You are one of my favorite YouTubers by far. I just noticed your comment. Sorry for the late response. Wow, that is crazy having Gamble in my stream chat. Hello, Blitz. Alright, let's show the boar build here. I actually kind of forget what I have on here. I think I'm using, that's right. Yep. That tracks. The one thing I was thinking about replacing was Prime Point Blank. Since I do have the base damage from Primary Merciless here, I could replace that, but it does so much damage, it just doesn't really matter. This is my boar ribbon. If anybody wants to see the ribbon, it's a ton of multi-shot, ton of crit chance. Unfortunately, no negative. I know you're probably going to ask me, what would you use there if I didn't have a ribbon? That would be a good question. If you wanted to do a ton of damage, you could, of course, put a cleanse mod there. You know, one of the Bane mods is one of the highest damage options in the game, especially if you're doing a build that doesn't need dot damage, like a heat build, for example, would greatly benefit from that. Or you could put on Prime Chilling Grasp. You could have a super potent Corrosive Cold build, especially with the corrosive buffs. That might actually be what I recommend, honestly. Would be Prime Chilling Grasp instead of the Ribbon, if you don't have a Ribbon. That would actually be quite good. But yeah, that's the boar build. For whoever wanted to see it. Yeah, for anybody in my stream right now who doesn't know who Gamble is, I would recommend that you all go subscribe to him immediately. He has some of the best videos that I've ever seen on Warframe. I know people don't typically plug other people's channels, perhaps, on their own streams, but I gotta be honest, he's amazing, so you should go subscribe to him. Alright. Oh, and here's the Harmony build that I'm currently rocking for anybody who wanted to see that. The only thing that I'm missing is I do need to fix it to put my Tennokai mod back on. Which I think basically just means... What am I going to polarize here? Yeah, I'll just polarize the Amalgam Organ Shatter. because that'll let me use any of the Tennokai mods that I want. Although I think right now I'm going to use Discipline's Merit. Yeah, I like that one because it makes the Tennokai super consistent. Yeah, this build is super strong. Melee Elementalist is absolutely cracked on this weapon. It's basically a straight up 90% damage increase, or, 1.9x damage multiplier, because all of its damage comes from doing 7 slash procs thanks to melee afflictions, and then collapsing all of that damage due to its passive here and doing the damage right away. And then you definitely want to use, if you want to do the really crazy giga max numbers, you do want to use a smite mod for whatever faction you're currently fighting, because especially with collapsing 7 slash procs and turning all those into damage, slash proc, any damage over time effects, they double dip Bane modifiers. So this 1.55 extra damage is actually applied twice, so it's a 140% damage increase. So this mod alone single-handedly increases the damage of this build by over 2 times. So highly recommend using that. Not mandatory. It'll still do a ton of damage, but if you want to do the, 100 million damage hits, this is what you want to use. But then the rest of the build is pretty basic for a heavy attack build. Honestly, the thing that's really unique about the build is that melee afflictions is actually good on this weapon. Aside from that, it's a pretty stock standard heavy attack setup for a scythe like this. Yeah, Lasting Sting is very good on this weapon. The problem is finding what mod to replace for Lasting Sting on a build like this, because it already does so much damage that I actually already want to replace a mod here with Spring-Loaded Blade, which I actually don't have right now because I gave my copy to a friend who wanted to use it. So I don't have it, but Spring-Loaded Blade gives you 2 extra meters of range. So because this thing already does like 50 quadrillion damage, the only thing I really want to add here is more range so that I can just kill more enemies in every hit. So I would probably drop Killing Blow, for example, for Spring-Loaded Blade, and then especially once you already lose that, it becomes really hard to fit in Lasting Sting somewhere, because all of these other mods are basically mandatory. Like, you can't get rid of your base damage unless you're playing as a frame that adds base damage, like Chroma, for example, or you're using like Arcane Fury for melee damage. You can't get rid of your crit damage mod. Getting rid of melee elementalist would be insane. You can't get rid of Stack Steel. You can get rid of the Bane. I'll say that. You could get rid of the Bane, but then it's like, is Lasting Sting really a damage increase over the Bane? It's kind of just a wash there, so it's just really hard to fit in. Did I see the leaked Incarnin weapons coming? I do have a lot of Kuva. No, I didn't see anything about any leaked Incarnin weapons, although I don't know that talking about any leaks in the chat is a good idea. Let's perhaps avoid that, just to be safe. But no, I have not seen anything about that. But I'll definitely be interested whenever they're announced. Hey, Gamble. I don't know if you're still in the chat, Gamble, but since you are here, where's the videos lately, man? I haven't checked the channel in a couple days here, but last I looked, you haven't put out a video in like over a month. I'm looking forward to the next Mottcast video. I love listening to those at work. I would also be greatly interested in seeing your opinion on like doing a video on all of the status changes and the huge enemy rework and all of that occurred to the game. Your input on that would be very good, I imagine. Would also love to play with you sometime. Just saying. Work let you work 12 days of doubles. That probably is pretty good money. Yeah. Good money. I can't blame you. You're probably... I bet you retired after that if you mean 12 days in a row. I haven't worked since Tuesday myself because I got a foot injury. that I've been dealing with. But hey, it gives me more time to play Warframe, so there you go. Alrighty. Speaking of ribbons, let's go roll my dual toxicist a little bit here and see if I can get something better with a negative on, perhaps. I would love to get crit chance, something like crit chance, cold damage, punch through in a negative. I think that would be the perfect roll for my build. Warframe grind, quit Warframe. So any Mottcasts are going to be rare. Now, is that the guy who was in most of your videos? I mean, does Mottcast require that specific guy, or is it? I thought it was just more of like a, you know, a podcast style setup where you played with whoever you were playing with at the time and just, you know, had a long video, basically, a long chat. But yeah, if those videos were only supposed to be with him, then I suppose I understand why that would be delayed, be an issue. Sorry to hear that. Well, you did play with Arthas, didn't you? Yeah. I haven't seen a whole lot of his videos, but from what I have seen, pretty good as well. I love your videos because I know a lot of people don't like the 4-hour long format, but you're one of the most knowledgeable people I've seen on the game, so it's always interesting seeing the things that you had to say. I'd be very interested in your general opinion on the status reworks. Like the faction enemy changes and all the elemental reworks and everything that we got with Jade Shadows. Come on, give me a good ribbon with a negative here. Negative fire rate, no. That's not what I want. Now this one's not bad for a Corrosive Blast build. This one is tempting. This one is very tempting to take. Trying to think if I could fit this in properly to my build. I would have to take back off Seeker, which I can do. It worked okay without Seeker. I just really like the punch through. So what would I lose? I would lose some status chance. Lose the multi-shot. I would get some heat damage back because I would put primed heated charge back on. Yes, I do have quite a bit of Kuva, Raven. I like Kuva. Welcome to the stream, Jacob. Yeah, this is actually a bit of a hard choice. I know this looks like an obvious choice to some of you, but it's really not. Because I'm considering a build that uses the Seeker mod. And with Seeker slotted in, that basically takes the electric mod slot. But if I don't use Seeker and I go back to using like the mod I would use Jolt on, then this is a nice little upgrade. Makes me think. Definitely makes me think. Plus, if you use Galvanized Shot, this extra 238 damage isn't a huge deal. Although my current build doesn't use Galvanized Shot, so this is actually a decent bump. There's a lot of math to consider here. I think I'll try out this new one. which means I might have to readjust the build here. Let me see. Let me see. Nope. That works out just fine, actually. That should be back to being blast electric, yep. Yep, that definitely works out. 7.1 crit multiplier. That's crazy. From 5.4 up to 7.1. Yeah, that's pretty spicy. What's the damage change in the incarnate form? Yep. That's definitely a lot more upfront damage. Welcome to the stream, Guns Ablaze, and thank you for the vote of confidence. I appreciate that. I kind of want to go to the Cuba Fortress and test out this nice new ribbon. Yet again, I wish this had a negative on it. Imagine how good these numbers would be if this had, like, negative zoom or something. Ooh. That'd be nice. But even so, quite nice. Let's hop into a mission here and see how this is. I already know it's going to be disgusting, but we just have to see it, you know. See it to believe it.
Scans show Grenier harvesting Kuva nearby. Set off the alarms to draw them out, then steal their Kuva catalysts.
My Revenant is stanced up right now.
Predictable.
Look at that.
As expected, Grenier
He is confident in himself, I'll tell you what.
systems, sending modified life support capsules. Use these to sustain your environment or attach Kuva catalysts to begin harvesting.
They die in one shot, so it takes forever to charge up the headshots. There we go. Alright. Yeah, that works. I do dare say that it functions. It does indeed kill things. Yeah, negative impact to Brian. That's basically the perfect thing that you could get as a roll on that. Since the incarnate form still has IPS on it. Oh yeah, this is nutty.
Life support on the way.
I do think I may have made the right choice with that ribbon. I actually want to change one of the evolutions back since I just remembered. I took off the multi-shot evolution because the ribbon that I just previously had that multi-shot on it. But now that I just lost that, I think I actually want to go back to the multi-shot evolution would be better, I believe. Yeah, there we go. So that'll give me another 100% multi-shot back from the ribbon that I just lost. So that should be quite nice. Alright. Well, I appreciate everybody joining for the stream. I think I am going to call it a night here so that I can go play with some of my friends who might be on. I appreciate everybody tuning in for this test stream and my first ever stream. And Gamble, loved having you here. It was very exciting having you in the chat, I must say. It's been fun, guys. I do plan on doing this more in the future. You know, start streaming for real, hopefully. I'm going to try and develop a schedule. I don't have one yet as to the specific days and times that I want to stream consistently, but once I can figure out times that, you know, work for my schedule, essentially, because I do still have a full-time job at the moment, you know, would be nice if maybe a couple of years from now I can do well enough on YouTube and whatnot to do this full-time for you guys, but at the moment, I'm trying to make sure that I can fit in content where I can. So whenever I get that put together, along with things like a channel Discord, I will get that information out to you guys, probably in the form of a YouTube community post or a video going over this kind of things. But in the meantime, I appreciate you all tuning in, and I will see you in the next one. Holy. Okay, so I know I just signed off, but I let the stream kept running there for a few minutes because I wanted to make sure that the stream wasn't lagging behind. Gamble, thank you for the $100. Holy. Yeah. Wow. You are truly a real one. Thank you. Now that I'm pretty sure that the stream is caught up in terms of my audio and whatnot, I'm going to go ahead and sign off now. I'll give it another 10 seconds or so after I finish my sentence, but thank you again, everyone. Gamble, thank you very much. And I look forward to your next video. And now, for real this time, I will see you guys in the next one. Signing off in about 10 seconds here.